Hi, today I'm just going to be talking about locations which I intend to use for my AS production. The main location really, for the bulk of this scene is going to revolve around an alleyway. This alleyway is in my town, it's in quite a quiet location, and the idea was that we'd have the killer and the person who's going to the alley to do a deal. Both will walk along these quiet streets. We felt this was quite good because it sort of builds up a sense of it's a sort of enigma, in a sense of it makes the audience question, why would something happen in such a quiet place, for example, because it's a quiet neighbourhood, and generally you hear about crimes stereotypically being committed in sort of city centres. So we thought that this is quite interesting, and perhaps it gives an indication of maybe there's more to this place than you think. Moving on to the alleyway itself, we chose an alleyway because we thought it's quite a dark, sinister place, perfect to do a deal in anyway. But also, if somebody comes in the alleyway, effectively you have where you either go the way you came or you go the other way. So there's only two ways of escape. It's quite a narrow, confined space, which that's perfect sort of atmosphere for what we want to create. And building up to this alleyway scene anyway, we're going to have the two characters walking to the same direction, and hopefully when we get to the alleyway it's going to become obvious that these two characters are going to meet each other. So again, that's quite interesting for the audience. And an alleyway, it has connotations of sort of being enclosed as well, and that's exactly the feelings we want to get across. An alleyway, that's perhaps not a typical a typical location from some of the action films we've seen, but we thought it's quite a good location because really it's sort of quite secluded, secretive, and it's one of them places that really in real life nobody likes going there. So you can, as an audience, you can easily relate to it, and and we think that's really the main purpose of our film, for the audience to be able to relate to it and to have a emotional connection with the characters, because they feel that they sort of almost are the characters. So yeah, and the other location is just sort of the main character's house. That is sort of the other main location really. This probably on for about 30 seconds, we anticipate. But again, it's quite an ordinary location. It's not sort of some grand mansion like you see, perhaps in some action films, like for example, the opening sequence of Johnny English. I mean, it's not his house, but he is at a grand house, and I just felt that with a sort of quite modest location, modest sort of house, it's sort of that house that any sort of person who is likely to go and watch the film could have lived in. Really, it's a realistic house. So yeah, and just a realistic place for them to live in. And I think that just is probably the main message throughout the whole film. We're going for realism over sort of all these extravagant effects, really. Alright,